Hello everyone, how is it going today? Happy Wednesday! We are back to continue building our Real Madrid Stadium. Here is what we have so far. We got 1/4 of it, and the field, of course. Pretty sure this next part is going to look basically the same. Kind of the nature of stadiums. I don't care if it's called a pitch or a field. It's a field of grass, even if it's fake. I will call it a field. I disregard correct terms. Howdy, Iagra. How's it going? I've also moved my my receiver for my wireless mouse. Hopefully it will not cause me problems. Let me rephrase. Hopefully that will solve the problems that I have been having with what I think is connectivity. Basically, like, the receiver was below the desk, so I think just the signal going through the desk was getting degraded kind of thing. So I moved it above the desk on a USB cable. So we will hope that that solves those problems. Plodding along in the workday. That is work for you. I'll go and get soccer hooligans after him. Psh, like I care. Like I care. Besides, aren't they technically football hooligans? Hope everyone is doing well today. It got rather warm, so I am in shorts and no socks. Luckily, I did move this setup to a cooler part of the house, so hopefully that will help during the upcoming summer. Air conditioning isn't on right now, but it was on earlier. Definitely shorts weather, yeah. Oh yeah, I've been running my air conditioning. I have needed to run that. And then it's actually going to get cold again for a brief period. Let me see what the what it was saying. Yeah, down to a high of 57 on Monday, which is just kind of ridiculous. It's like, seriously, what the heck is going on with the weather? Interesting. So we had to swing this part down on the other side. So we are already getting some differences. Nope, not that one. Oh, maybe it was this side. Hello? I don't know. Maybe they're just shaking things up so it's not quite so samey. I don't know. Either way, it's fine. Hope everyone is doing well today. Alright, then we are getting more of these. wonder if there's a way to get the tiles to actually be flush with this setup. Seems like a little bit more than the half plate. Given that it's shorts weather on both hemispheres and you're quite a ways to the south, there's a lot wrong with the weather. It's true. But at the same time, it's spring up here and fall down there, so we are kind of at that point where it's like, it can theoretically be the same. Normally, that's not shorts weather, though. Normally, that's more like a little bit cooler. Although there's actually a lot less land mass on the southern hemisphere, and people live a lot closer to the equator in general than on the northern hemisphere. Shorts in fall is normal, and not around here. Not in what I would consider fall weather. Very much should not be shorts weather around there already, yeah. Unless you live in Washington State right now, or you're currently having one of those days where you have all 4 seasons. I'm pretty sure that's been Maryland this year. We got to 90 degrees earlier this year than any time since 2013, so... Yuck. Very yuck. Also, my black car is green because of all the tree spooge. It's very rude of the trees. I think they should get a room. Alright, so we are setting these on. We can get it flush, but there is going to be a little bit of a gap. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's any real way to get around that little depression there. I mean, trees are good, though. I like trees. I just don't like the pollen everywhere. Hey, Kitty says it's cuddle time. I think Kitty is right. Can't believe you doubt Kitty. Go. I do like these 6x6 tiles. I have a lot of them now because of these sets. Which, you know, I'm good with. Yeah, it was kind of like I was just like looking outside and like, just compared to yesterday, there's a lot of pollen on my car. It's kind of ridiculous. Okay, that goes there. Green 1x1 tile that goes there for some reason. And let's get these inverted tiles right in here. Okay, some stickers would go on here that I, of course, am not putting on. Kitty was also trying to convince you she was never fed in her life after her third meal of the day and not very trustworthy. I mean, she probably hadn't eaten in like 7 seconds. Absolutely starving. You monster. Alright, spare parts. One bright green 1x1 tile. Alright, bag number 12. I mean, really, who do you expect me to believe? You or Kitty? Obviously Kitty. Obviously, I gotta believe Kitty. There we go. Okay. Starting out with a 1x1 tile clips. Stop getting out of my fingers, please. There we go. Okay. Now this is going to go on to these. You imagine a small dog angrily throwing around his empty bowl? Actually, it was interesting. I was feeding someone's goldfish, and they stopped eating when, like, I mean, I don't know how much to feed them. So I try to give them enough, but not too much. But I don't know what that is. But they definitely stopped eating when they were not hungry anymore, so I thought that was interesting. A lot of yellow in this part. Like it was just like me, burying the yellow. Yeah, I use so little yellow normally that yellow kind of builds up in my collection if I don't actively bury it. Alright, so this is going to go on here. Let's try to make it even. There we go. Alright, 6 of these. Can't remember if my sister's dog would throw her bowl around. Might be predator versus prey instinct. Gravers just tend to eat slowly until full and have a rest, but predators' meals are more inconsistent, so they gorge when they can. Oh, grazers. Yeah, it could be. That said, a lot of fish are pretty opportunistic about whatever they eat. Like, I don't think the predator versus prey thing is as clear-cut with most aquatic life. And we've got a 1x1 printed with white lines. That goes right there, and then we get another headlight brick, but turned around. Different entrance of some kind there. One by 5 plate. Always nice to get 1x5 plates these days. Wonder if we'll get to see 1x7s one of these days. That would be neat. You want a 23x6 just to be weird? Well, it'd be 6x23. There are actually 6x24s, but I don't know if they make them very much anymore. There used to be some not as... They weren't odd. I don't think there were any odd-numbered base plates, but they did have some interesting breakdowns. There was, of course, like... Oh, no, we do want that. All right. Looking at one of them, it looked like it was gray for a second there. What was I saying? Buddy Kinshire. So back in the once the 80s kind of rolled around, they very much regularized all base plates. They had 8x16, 16x16, 16x32. They had some 8x32s. And in the early 80s, there were some 16x24. And then, of course, 32x32 and 48x48. But back in the 70s, they had some, like, 10x something or others. Some other interesting numbers. Not too many, but nothing that was odd numbered. Just not quite that systematic thing of multiples of 8. It is nasty hot weather, isn't it? Luckily, the inside has air conditioning. I think by the 90s, they weren't making the 16 by 24 anymore. And these days, I think all they're making are 48 by 48, 32 by 32, and 16 by 32. I don't know if they have 8 by 16s anymore. Partly because those have been replaced by full plates as opposed to base plates. It's always fun to look at what has come before when it comes to LEGO. Interesting. So double stack of Translite Blue going on here with the 1x2 tile with center stud, and a yellow 1x1 cylinder plate, so I'm guessing that something's going to come down here to cover that up. I don't know why they would do that otherwise. Alright, then just 4 of these on the other side. Okay, rail plates. Getting 5 of these, 3, 4, and 5. Howdy, Green King Dog. How's it going? Nope. Don't try to go on the floor. How rude of it. Okay. Last 2 go up here. So interesting little difference there. And then, of course, that one there. We'll see what that ends up doing. And yeah, 3 of those, get these, and blue. 1, 2, and a 3. There we go. It goes there, and a 1x1 brick goes in there. I think I missed putting on earlier. we go. Two by 6 tile and a 2 by 4 tiles. I do like these brackets. 2 by 6 to 1 by 6 upward brackets. They're pretty neat. Okay, another 1 by 4 there, 1 by 5 there. Oops, and I forgot to get that 1 by 1 in there as well. So one of the reasons why I do tend to miss some of these pieces sometimes is because, like, we've got the box that lists the parts out and then the quantities. In terms of my Lego building career, shall we say, that's all pretty new, except on Technic. They did that for Technic. But I'm like, even though I've been doing this for a few years now, and obviously, like, they've, like, the streams, I mean, and obviously, Lego has been doing this for even longer. I'm not really used to it. I'm used to looking at the picture of the thing first and figuring out what needs to go on from there. Lego trained me and then changed tactics on me. Alright, so spare part. We got a 1 by 1 gray tile with line print. Alright, bag number 13. Lucky number 13. Howdy, Sealan. How's it going? Just in time for lucky number 13 bag. I'm doing pretty well. Oh, okay. So, this here has us putting these two 1 by 1 tiles, translight blue tiles, on here. And I remember doing that on the other corner. Right here. And I was looking at that, and I was like, okay, obviously this is going to be part of a locking mechanism, because we got a 2 by 2 spot right there. We're going to put a 2 by 4 tile. Connect that up there. But I was wondering about this. I thought maybe this would have, like, kind of an overhang here. But no, there's going to be a chunk that goes in here and connects onto that piece, is my guess. All right, 11 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Up close, that thick, that gray bit looks like a thick pipe. What, this over here? It's definitely not sewer. I've not been to the stadium, so I don't know. That, you bet they use matching colors to show which edges go together. And other corners will use different. Might be. Sometimes they do, yeah. I haven't seen anything that quite does that, though. Let's see. Yellow there. Yellow there. There might be a different color on that side. There we go. Okay, a sticker would go on to here. There is this goes on here. That's what was covering that up. I have no idea what that is. There is a sticker with black squares. So maybe an elevator or something, or a stairwell. I don't know. Oh, there it is. At the start of the 1960s, Real Madrid won 5 consecutive league titles. Good for them. Just hoping tonight will be quieter than last night. I will endeavor to make it loud. We'll get loud. Spill a few drinks on the Citadel. Put on all the baguettes on the side here. That is what these are, obviously. It would be hilarious if there was a Lego set that actually managed to use baguettes as decorations for something. Like the actual Lego baguettes. Thunderstorm and tornado sirens? You doubt I could match that? Oh, I could try. I could try. There, more windows. It's great for making water. Other 2 cats are burning through some zoomies, so any hope for peace and quiet has been dashed. Alright. And then this one gets on here. They're just using the tile here because they didn't want to put in a 1x1 plate when they already had tiles in. Okay. I do like how closely the 1x2 round end plates match with the round top piece on the brackets. It's pretty nice. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Very nice blue shade. Yeah, light blue, trans light blue is pretty nice. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Although, it does mean that there's not a whole lot of trans blue. No, that's not purple. That's trans light blue. Or do you mean this? This is just standard blue. The color balance is not, like, it automatically color balances, and I don't know how to turn that off, and I don't know how to fix it. Like get it to be accurate. Yeah, I mean, standard Lego blue is pretty nice. I do feel like the standard colors kind of get the shaft these days over the variety of additional colors that Lego has. Which is, you know, I mean, it's good and bad. I mean, it's nice to get other colors, but at the same time, there's a lot of pieces that I've gotten that are only in new colors, and I haven't gotten them in standard colors. All right, 11 of these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, there we go. How many Maersk sets will I buy for that precious blue? I'm only going to get one. I'm actually not positive if that that one does have Maersk blue in it. I don't. There was a Maersk set that did not use Maersk blue. There's a Maersk train that's actually surprisingly not that expensive. I would have expected it to be a lot more. I'm very tempted to get a copy. I don't have a huge use for Maersk blue. And it is very part limited. So it's nice to have, but also... I mean, there was one Maersk set that only had like 5 parts in Maersk blue, so... It was not very much. Oops. Yeah, these two go there. These two do go there, yes. Maersk blue is the only blue I need? No. If I had to choose just one blue, it would be dark blue. Oh, sand blue, though. I don't know, and I really like bright light blue, and that's tough. I like those better than... Yeah, dark blue, sand blue, and light blue. I like those all better than Maersk blue. Maybe after spending those first few decades as predominantly red and blue, LEGO wants to get away from standard colors. Well, it's not predominantly red and blue. They've had actually early stuff was more red and white, but red, white, black, yellow. Is that? Yeah, those are the standard colors. Gray came after a bit, although it was pretty new in the 80s, in like the late 70s. Oops, actually, that is supposed to go this way. My bad. Yeah, Lord Canis, drugs are like that. The Vespa was light blue, Lel Bunny. Bright light blue is the as LEGO calls it. Yeah, the old town plan set and stuff like that. There was a lot of red and white in those. Yeah, Lord Canis, drugs are like that too. See, I love that short because of the LEGO. Yeah, so once the 80s rolled around, you had, there was brown for some pieces, not reddish brown, but brown. Things like brown horses, brown hair, brooms. Those were brown. Obviously, you had red. There was yellow. Green mostly in base plates. Blue. You guys can't see these. Dark gray was mostly for weapons and tools as well. Not much, not many pieces of that. You had light gray as well. Like, I remember when we first started getting pieces, like, not base plates, but pieces in green, pieces in dark gray. So Madrid doesn't exist until you build this model? Correct. That is correct. It's just a figment of everyone's imagination until I build this. There's another regular 1x2. There it is. Are there any bulls for this Spain build? No, because it's a soccer stadium. Not exactly a whole lot of bulls in soccer stadium. Maybe if we were doing a Chicago arena. Then there might be doubles. Yeah, this is a good one. This one is Mysterious Forest from Suikoden, but it's off of the Vocals and Piano Arrange album. LEGO did it? No, LEGO did not do a Chicago arena. LEGO has done basketball sets, though. And I think there were some Chicago Bulls characters. But there was no, no actual, like, emulation of an actual, like, existing stadiums of any sort. Oops, not that. The addition of Angry Bulls to the arena would greatly improve the entertainment value of the soccer matches. It might. Imagine then, like, not only would you have the announcers going, goal, but you'd also have them going, gore. But the Bulls might get hurt. I think they'd be okay. What are the soccer players going to do? Kick the ball at them? Alright, stickers would go on here. Of course, I'm not doing that. Would there be bonus points if the Bulls knocked a player into the net? Maybe. Okay, get that down there. It's interesting that we, they did the build for this on the backside. But we are doing the front side of this one. You can tell because the corrugation is going this way rather than this way. Howdy, Bahamut, how's it going? No, it does not see them roam the fields. I don't know the details, but I'm pretty sure it's a pretty controlled event. Oops, not that one. Milk does go well with cookies. They let the Bulls run free after people in the streets to a point, then they round them up? Yeah. Alright, there we go. Okay, we got 1x5. Plate there. Yeah, I personally have zero interest in anything Running of the Bulls related. Just no interest whatsoever. There we go. Get that on there. They round up the bulls, Lel Bunny. Although rounding up the people would be funnier. There we go. All right, bag number 14 time. Am I sure? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Actually, I'm kind of wondering if they're going to have something here as well, because there is this little gap right here. I'm not actually sure what that means, Gilded Tongue. Robert Mitchum? Oh, right, right. No, I've never used that brand of deodorant. So I did it right over my head, sorry. Now I'm glad I didn't make a joke about axing a question, because... Seeing where the jokes went. All right, and that goes right there. Got fresh chocolate chip cookies from the local bakery and 2 loaves of raisin bread. Is it raisin bread or cinnamon raisin bread? These important questions. I love me some cinnamon raisin bread. My local bakery has great bread and donuts and pastries and stuff like that, but their cookies are not good. It kind of amuses me how not good their cookies are. No sin in those breads, as it's a Catholic Orthodox bakery. Oh, ah, it's true. Cinnamon is evil, and that's why it's so delicious. Air conditioning is in the window. Woohoo! Time for comfort. I don't know what cinnamon babka is. Sounds Slavic. But that might just be babushka making me think that. Forgot how to spell cinnamon and decided to make a sin joke? No, that's fine. Even if you had just decided to make a sin joke, that would be funny. Or as my sister and I would call it when we were very young and didn't pronounce things very well, simoniminimum. Simoniminimum. Actually, I can't even do it very well anymore. You grow up and you learn to speak properly, and then you can't say those silly kid pronunciations anymore. Synonym bread like grammar used to make. That's terrible, sir. You should feel bad. Glad that you got a new charger. You can play even more video games. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Been trying to finish FF4 Complete Edition for maybe FF Tactics. FF Tactics is very good. I do want to get to the remaster pretty soon. What? What, Law Bunny? Looks like I'm building a toilet. Maybe I am. Maybe that's what these things are. Giant toilets. You had so many dragons in your roster at the end of FFT. I mean, well, obviously. Dragons are awesome. Why wouldn't you? Final Fantasy Tactics dragons do breed like rabbits. It's obviously a starship. See, look, it can even transform. You want to do a modified save where it's Oops All Dragons, but with class abilities? Reason you're considering Final Fantasy Tactics is because someone you follow on YouTube is LPing Final Fantasy Tactics? Would that be Mysterious JG? That always annoyed you in FFT? You don't mind that they multiply, but the amount they do and fill up the roster is a bit much? Yeah. Yeah. Very annoying. Oops. You know what? Let's put these aside. Oh, you mean all the dragons have class abilities? Yeah, you definitely have to modify the game. That'd be Thrithland? Ah, okay. I asked because Mysterious JG is currently playing. A little behind on his episodes, so I need to catch back up one of these days. Can you sell tame monsters for money? No. No, you can only poach them or let them go. No, that's fine, Bahamut. Everyone has different different people that they follow. Poaching dragons? Awful. Well, they do give you good stuff. Although the pig creatures give you the best. Oh yeah, no. They are smart people. They knew what they were doing. You don't think you had pigs spawn in your playthrough? You basically have to try to find them. If you don't try to find them, chances are you will not find them. Yeah, I figured. Oh, you follow him, you just weren't watching, you haven't watched his vids. That's fair. Okay, so slide that in there. And get that on there. Does wiggle a little bit right now. Well, I mean, as long as you're watching mine, that's the important thing. Lego Hockey Stick was first introduced in Series 4 collectible minifigs. And with these, I may actually be able to make a hockey team. I pulled out the other baseball player that I knew of. Go ahead and zoom in. We've got stackers and we've got the clutchers. I can't remember what series this guy's from. Unfortunately, there is not enough to make a full team of either. Oh, that's the N64 hockey game, Seelan. Like, I had some friends, I had a friend who had an N64, and basically the only reason we ever played that was to get into fights in the game. As Danes, how did they go decades with no hockey players? You mean Denmark? I mean, hockey just might not have been big there. Like, you might think Denmark would do well in the Winter Olympics, and they really don't, because I don't know if you guys realize it, but Denmark's flat. It's pretty flat. Unlike, say, Sweden. You watched a video talking about the 7 almost completely useless Final Fantasy job classes? See, I figure most of those are going to be wrong. NFL Blitz is the only football game you liked, mostly for the over-the-topness. I could probably count on one hand the number of video game sports games that I've played and have fingers left over. See, most of those videos to me tend to be like clickbaity, and I kind of make a point of avoiding, like intentionally avoiding clickbait. If I think they're trying to manipulate me into watching, then I don't want to watch. But that's me. And I'm sure I've missed out on some good videos because of that. Base Wars was always a fun one. Zerfall has played a lot of that. I'm not sure if he still has a speedrun record for it, but I think he might. He played the crap out of that. And that was pretty amusing to watch. Just watched because you were bored and wanted noise? That's fair. So what did you think? Did you think that he was spot on with the with them being almost useless? Was it a good video? Was it a bad video? Come on, dish the dirt, man. You always just enjoyed the mechanic of, oh, you threw me out, but if I pummel your robot into scrap, I get to stay on base? Yeah, exactly. You agreed with one. The Final Fantasy, was it just Final Fantasy IV Bard, or was it all bards? Like, regardless of game. Because honestly, like, I appreciate that they intentionally made Edgar suck. It was just the FF4 bards. Yeah, I remember the first time I played the Japanese version, and I was like, oh my god, he has a healing ability? This is great! This makes him not suck! And I started using it, and then realized that it used up all my potions, and then I was like, oh, wow, yeah, no, he sucks. Finding whole new levels of suckitude for Edward. Edward is perhaps the most useless character in the game unless you get him to level 70, then stat gains go through the roof. Really? Wow. I wonder if that's intentional. I wonder if there is a Oops All Edwards randomizer run. There should be. Still laugh at the option in FF4 Free Enterprise that lets Edward actually equip the spoon. That's a great one. That is pretty fantastic. Wasn't his ability just the alchemy ability, but only for potions? No, it heals everyone, but it uses a potion. It basically takes a potion, but splits the healing across the party. So it's very minimal. And I'm not sure if it uses other potions, because at the time you get him, you really only have potions. I don't know if that works with better potions or not. You don't think you could win FF4 with only Edward unless you grind a lot of levels? Well, yeah, I mean, that's probably what you'd have to do. But, like, not just, you know, Edward alone. I mean, like, you have to use nothing but a party full of Edward. So you have 5 Edwards. Yeah, but you can probably get that ability for other people in the DS version, so that's why they would make it better, not crap. So I'm not sure if that applies to the original. You could actually set that up in Free Enterprise. You actually could set that up in Free Enterprise, you think? Just make him the only character available and allow repeats in the party? Yeah. Yeah, I vaguely recall when, I think it was Crescens was doing a bunch of free enterprise runs. I think that came up during a discussion. And it would amuse me. And there's probably someone who's done it. I can't be the only person who has thought of that. Wish you had a thing that let you put elixirs in early game so you could test its salve ability. Yeah, too bad there's no, item dupe trick like in the original of 3. Which was how I got the fully equipped Onion Knight party in that. I could do it, not a rogue AI, but also I value my time and sanity too much. I would rather someone else suffer through that, not me. Okay, what did I miss? I have these 2 pieces. What did I miss? Yeah, that was already there. That one? Okay, yep. I got that one on. I got those 2 on. This is an upward bracket. Huh. Yeah, no, I didn't. And these are just extra pieces. Huh. Okay. I don't know if this is an error in the bag. Extra 1x2 beige plate and a 1x1 to 1x2 upward bracket. But the only extra piece that should be here is a yellow 1x1 cylinder plate. Well, yeah. I mean, that's normal. Maybe they'll be used later? No. Nope. It's not how it works. I don't know. Hopefully that doesn't indicate that another bag will be missing parts, but it shouldn't. Because they should be weighing the bags to make sure that they weigh the correct amount. I suppose if they're overweight a little bit, that might be considered okay, but it does feel like likelihood of having missing pieces inside is still pretty high. So I don't know. Do not know. Oh well. Not quite this. Because I didn't get, like, I got that full bag built. There wasn't anything missing. Like, I've had parts where a part was swapped. Like, instead of this piece, I might get this piece, kind of thing. But that's not what was happening there. People complain about how buggy games are on launch these days, but you remember so many bugs, even game-breaking ones on console games that you can never update? I actually, like, I can't say that I encountered too many myself. Bugs, yes. Game-breaking ones, no. And some of the bugs weren't very obvious, like Final Fantasy I with all of its damages being incorrect. That's not exactly a bug that's easy to see. Yes, Edward's a good character, and that's one of the reasons why I appreciate that he mechanically sucks. But I'm also not going to not make fun of him. Because why not? He's not real. See, I've never had Realm glitch out except, well, I don't think I've ever had Realm glitch out except when I intentionally did it. Oh, yeah. Like, there's no reason for that not to be automated. Which is why, but I mean, like, they're not going to have someone manually check the bags to make sure all the parts got in either. It's either the automated weighing or a quick visual inspection just to make sure everything looks right. And the only game that I've had, I've lost saves in is Secret of Mana. And like I said, that was like after playing all day in the hot summer with the console sitting on the carpet, not exactly sure that it was Secret of Mana that was the problem there. Okay, there we go. Get that in there. Getting a lot of orange 2x2 corner plates in here, and I'm all for it. You demand a Danish kobolds assembling every box? Yeah, but then everything would smell like wet dog. Why would you want that? I've smelled wet dog before, and I am good not smelling wet dog ever again. I do enjoy pointing out to people that kobolds were originally pretty clearly mammalian, and then having them just absolutely reject that out of hand. It's like, I refuse to believe my lying eyes. That's why you put on your bathing suit before washing your dog. I don't think the bathing suit helps my my nose though. Does nothing for my nose. It's like the bathing suit. It does nothing because it's wet dog smell. No, actually, so that's the interesting thing, Bahamut. The current nomenclature would not put them as reptiles. Reptiles are a paraphilic grouping. Yeah, yes, really. So, like Dimetrodon. Dimetrodon is not a reptile. It is not considered a reptile. We no longer consider those early mammal-like reptiles to be reptiles. Synapsids, yes. Reptiles are anapsids and diapsids, and that's it. Let me rephrase. Anapsids and diapsids that are not birds. And those are two separate branches entirely. No, those early creatures are also not quite considered mammals. Since none of them are still around, it's kind of, I think it's kind of at a point of like, whatever. Right, but dinosaurs are still considered reptiles, generally. Should put up some videos on foxes for me to watch? Like, actual foxes? There's actually a really good joke about how you can distinguish mammals from other creatures. Specifically, mammals suck. It's true. Mammals suck. That's how you know that whether something is a mammal or not. It sucks. You suck, I suck, we all suck. Yes, but to suckle means to suck. Basically, so mammals have a hard palate, top of the mouth, that allows us to suck. We can suck water, suck milk, suckle, suck, whatever you want to say. That's the point. That's what makes a mammal a mammal. I mean, there are other things too. Yeah, I mean, it does a lot. And it developed before nursing, so nursing was pretty clearly an adaptation from that. Yeah, all mammals have hair, but there are some other creatures that have very hair-like things as well, so... But I will note that there are, there are mammals with scales. Rat tails are scaly. Pangolins have scales. Those early synapsids, they would have been considered scaly. Many of them laid eggs as well. And of course, monotremes lay eggs. So all the things that people point to, every time they say, they come back with a thing of like, kobolds have this, therefore they're reptiles. I can easily point to mammals that have those features too. Actually, 4 species, Bahamut, because there are 3 species of echidna. Yay, thunder! Too bad it's not thunder snow. Whoop-de-doo, 4 species. Hey, I mean, it's more than 2. That's double. Admittedly, 3 of them are echidnas. But the point still stands. Can I prove kobolds suck? Have you seen their hit dice? No, Lel Bunny, there is a phenomenon called thunder snow where you actually get thunder during a snowstorm. It's pretty great. It's one of my favorite weather phenomenon. It's not very common. That's fair, but what I will say is that it's very muffled. It sounds very different than a normal thunderstorm. I personally don't consider, I don't think it's scary at all. To be fair, I don't really consider regular thunderstorms scary, but I would think that someone scared of thunder would not find thunder snow scary. But I also don't know that for sure. Just kind of chuckle that the same reason we have doggy kobolds is the exact reason why we have the heretical image of St. Christopher. What, wizardry? All right, bag number 17. I don't actually know what the heretical image of St. Christopher is, Gilded Tongue, so, Yes, Nadaroge, I was kind of joking about that. The reason that we have dog kobolds is because of wizardry. Like, specifically the anthropomorphic dogs that Japan has. Dog head saint is the image. Oh. Okay. I don't know. I don't know my saints. Probably shocking to you guys. What kind of kobolds are we supposed to have? Obviously the AD&D style, which have rat tails and a general dog-like scaled head with horns. That smell of wet dog. Oh, a mistranslation of dogged to dog-headed. Got it. So I wouldn't actually say that wizardry mistranslated something. I think it was a choice. So Wizards of the Coast chose to make kobolds completely reptilian. They decided to focus on specific elements of their description. And Wizardry just decided to focus on different elements of their description. Because the original D&D description calls them dogmen. Like, I posted a, I posted the description from the basic set in the AD&D channel. It literally says dogmen. Let me tell you, it was amusing to see the people try to resist that. It shut up many a conversation. Very much a, I have no response to this, but I can't actually respond to it, so I'm just not going to say anything. No, basic isn't the oldest source. The oldest sources don't have descriptions. It's basically they're like goblins. The oldest source basically just says they're like goblins. And all of the old sources that talk about, like, what type of creature they are always includes them with goblinoids, which are all mammalian. People don't want to admit their favorite version is a retcon. Exactly. And it's okay to prefer a retcon. Just, you know, recognize that it's a retcon. I think that recognizing that things are retcons is pretty important for being able to go back and read the old material and be like, ah, that's why it is saying something that I don't understand or that I don't recognize or that is doing something differently than I expected. You know, and there's similar things that aren't exactly retcons, but there was a second edition monster description that referred to a most definitely non-fairy creature as Fey. Like, they have a Fey demeanor. And I had someone be like, oh, wow, they're from the Feywild or something. And I'm like, no, that's using the standard English definition of the word because that didn't mean anything other than that back then. Almost everyone seems to have a different take on kobolds, D&D reptiles with dragon blood. Hey, not all D&D. EverQuest dog, WoW rat. So I think the reason why 3rd edition decided to make them strictly reptiles was to differentiate their IP from other material, from other what other companies were doing. I think that's one of the reasons why they ditched the dog stuff, because it was so relatively common in other material, especially like Japanese-related stuff. I think they should have been a little bit more open and clear with that. Like, if I could just point to a statement by Wizards of the Coast saying, yeah, we're changing kobolds intentionally to protect our IP, that'd be a lot easier. It'd be a lot easier for me. Yes. Yeah, that's why that blue guy was a kobold. They were... Quest for Glory was going for the... trying to hew closer to the old Germanic meaning or idea, because Quest for Glory 1 was so, heavily Germanic. Well, I mean, Pathfinder is basically just D&D. I mean, it is a different version of a 3rd edition D&D. Except you have a harder time liking Pathfinder. I mean, it did things differently. It didn't do everything the exact same. But it is based on the SRD. But I mean, like, Lord Canis, I don't have any desire to play 1st edition, and the differences between 1st and 2nd edition are pretty minor. It's like, the little things can absolutely make, be a bridge too far, and that's okay. Same kind of thing for you in Pathfinder. Some of those changes can just be a bridge too far, and that's fine. That's why everyone should play what they like. Like, I know Wizards doesn't want to break up that, like split up their base, but I do think that if they allowed other editions on the DM's Guild, like, it would be a way to monetize players of my generation who are not currently playing the current game. Yeah, a lot of people play Paladins very wrong. Very, very wrong. I'm going to be running a 2E game for my niece, her partner, and some other people, some of their friends. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they react to some of this stuff. I don't think they have a solid definition. I mean, basically, to a certain extent, Lel Bunny, like scientific research, actual scientific research, isn't going to deal with those classifications very much anymore at all. It's rarely needed to take that broad of a view. And it avoids the thorny fact that, like, reptiles are two groups that have been separated by about as long as mammals have been separated from other reptiles. Like, there are 4 groups of reptiles. You got turtles, which are a completely separate branch. You've got crocodiles, which are archosaurs. Again, completely separate branch. Lizards and snakes, which, you know, they diverged. They're part of the same branch. And then tuataras, the single species of tuatara. Again, like, the differences in them go back an incredibly, incredibly long way. So it's just, like, really hard to... Like, those categories are a bit of a lay term rather than scientific term these days. Alligators and crocodiles are archosaurs. So, crocodiles and alligators are the closest living relatives to birds. Imagine a croc-headed bird. Well, I mean, like, they've been diverged so far that birds are warm-blooded, and alligators and crocodiles are still cold-blooded. So, and even that's, like, not really a scientific term anymore either, because bird warm-bloodedness is evolved differently from mammalian warm-bloodedness, and they're very different in how they operate. So they have basically the same similar effect, but a very different actual biological, like they work differently, biologically speaking. Taxonomy is weird. For the longest time, skunks were lumped with weasels, and they did genomic studies and reclassified skunks. Yeah, and that's the kind of thing that's happening, is that we're doing a lot of these things, and just, and part of it is discovering that things are closer to others and further away from others than we thought. There's also an element of, like, while we classify things as species, again, how do you actually, like, you can't really point to a point where one species becomes another kind of thing. You can't, you can't say when that happened. What a species is always just like a snapshot in time. Come to Alt's Lego building, I'll watch pieces assemble and talk about biological classifications of animals, real and fantastic. Exactly. I've had people tell me that dragons are not reptiles. I'm like, what the heck are you smoking? Alright, spare parts, white 1x1 tile. Dragons are most definitely not cats. Well, it's not just that it happens so gradually, as that it's like, it's all a spectrum. It's all a spectrum, and it's all, a branching tree of life. Like, you can look right now at, at a human right now and say, yes, that is not a chimpanzee. And you can go back 100 years and look at a human and say, that is not a chimpanzee. But if you go back 5 million years, 10 million years, you can't say, oh, yes, this is the first time that they were not a chimpanzee, kind of thing, Because the closer you get, the more similar each species is to each other. And you can never say, like, this mother was this species, and this child is another species. Because parent and child are always, like, if you go by genetic similarity, you are very similar to your parents. Your parents are very similar to their grandparents. Their grandparents are very similar to their grandparents. And you can keep doing that jump, and you will never get to a point where they're separate. All the way back to single-celled organisms. So everything in in evolutionary study is very much a snapshot in time type thing. I guess it's kind of similar to Zeno's paradox, but it's not quite the same thing. But like, so you do that thing. You look just from child to parent, then child to parent, and then child to parent. Go back thousands and thousands and thousands of those. Stop, and then look at where you started, and you're going to be able to say, oh, yeah, these two are different. But you can never do that with their immediate, offspring and sire. Right, something is different, but the differences are always so minor that it doesn't make a new species, Lil Bunny. It's like, take a spectrum, take the spectrum of colors. Every single color. At what point do you get from, you know, like, trying to remember where they, like, at what point does blue become green? What is the color, the exact color that blue becomes green? Because those two colors, if you try to say this is where it happens, if you look at this one right here, it looks almost the exact same as this one. And this one looks almost the exact same as this one. But you can look all the way back here and say, oh yeah, these two are different colors. But these three colors, they're almost the exact same. You know, you can do the same thing with a dialect spectrum as well. That's another similar thing. Where it's difficult to, it can be difficult to say exactly when a given dialect becomes a new language, because it's mutually intelligible to dialects nearby. The Chinese problem. There is also a similar thing with Arabic, especially if you go back to like medieval Arabic. There basically was a spectrum across the you know, North Africa through to the Middle East, but it was like, you know, mutually intelligible, mutually intelligible, mutually intelligible, mutually intelligible, mutually intelligible. But then you get over here, not mutually intelligible. Yeah, the only way to ever truly categorize these are to take snapshots in time, which, you know, luckily, that's what the human life is. No human is going to live long enough to see one species truly become another species. Now, with some very quick growing things like fruit flies, you might actually be able to do that if you really work at it. But at the same time, unless you like preserve, like manage to like cryo freeze one of the first generations, I'm not sure if you'd be able to change, you know, check that, because the other generations are also changing. Now to put the ribbing on here. You watch someone on TV Tropes break apart the Mimic movie because how fast the Mimic species showed up from the first generation insects they released to destroy the cockroaches. Yeah, I mean, like, it's science fiction, it's okay. But yeah, it is pretty silly. Genetic modification doesn't really count as speeding up the snapshot, per se. If you do enough genetic modification, like, if you start modifying cows and get to a point where your modified cow can no longer breed with normal unmodified cows, then yeah, then you would technically have a new species. But that said, there are some species that are considered separate species that can interbreed. Got a road trip for a customer tomorrow for work. All right, have a good rest of your night, Sealand. Thank you very much for coming on out. You know what I mean, not a road guy. Standard English refers to all cattle as cows sometimes. It's fine. Yeah, you'd have to have, like, basically an incredibly unstable mutation system going on, which is probably not something that you could actually have. But at the same time, it's science fiction. It's okay. Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is even if a... Like, there's definitely movies and TV shows that I watch and enjoy and like, where I'm also going, that's impossible. That can't happen. It's okay, because it's all in fun. All in good fun. Howdy, Area High One. How's it going? I think David the Gnome came out after, because it was like David the Gnome that got us forest gnomes, whereas the early, and that came around with second edition. Early gnomes were, earth dwellers. Oops. No, I wouldn't yell it out like Luke. I do say that's impossible in that exact same tone. That can't happen. That's silly. And then I enjoy it. Anyway. It was, but it's South American. Or Central American, something like that. I don't know how much of an impact it made here in the US before the David the Gnome cartoon showed up. Like, there was a book. I don't know when that was published. I think that there was a I would put money on a novel having gnomes. Actually, there's gnomes in Lankmar, I think. Like, I haven't actually read much of the Appendix N material. Well, yes, but they're not like, D&D took a lot of that stuff and did its own thing with them. Hence why Tiamat and Bahamut are dragons. And kobolds are, scaly dogmen. Yeah, there's a video going around about kobolds. I've seen it shared multiple times. Yeah, Tiamat is Mesopotamian mythology, but she's the queen of chaos, and they made her lawful evil. It's very weird. It's very weird. She's also not a dragon. Certainly not a multi-headed dragon. That's because early D&D stuff just did whatever it wanted. Like, let's see. LEGO fans have been waiting for a 1x5 plate for a very long time. This model includes 48 of the rare LEGO piece, the most in any LEGO model to date. Nice. Yes, Bahamut is a fish sea monster from other Mesopotamian mythology. Not Sumerian, Akkadian mythology. I think it's Canaanite. The second book would have had more to do with David the Gnome than the first, and the inspiration for the 70s cartoon. Or the 80s cartoon. Yeah, I mean, like, remember that gnomes were a second edition playable race pretty early. I mean, AD&D is what I mean, not second edition. I mean, obviously it was second edition, but later, but you know what I mean. My tank's beginning to run out. Oh, is it Dutch? Oh, the cartoon is Central American or South American, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's the cartoon that is. I think I got mixed up with that. It might be not a rogue AI. It is in a number of very similar. There are similar words in other languages, including Hebrew. So a number of closely related Semitic languages have a version of that word. Canaanite is pretty closely related to Old Hebrew. Being West Semitic. Whereas, if I remember correctly, Akkadian is East. Oop. Missed that one. Right, we're not putting the tile on this one. Just that right there. You wonder if trolls with gems in their belly buttons are worth more experience points? I don't know what that is a reference to. Okay, I definitely don't remember any gems in belly buttons. I mean, I had one of those troll toys when I was a kid. There we go. Huh. Oh, right, we haven't done the upper tier yet. Alright, so spare parts. Gray 1x1 plate, gray 1x1 tile, and yellow 1x1 cylinder plate. Let's pull that out for when we need it. Bag number 19. I mean, it's possible, I just don't remember it as well. I was certainly not a troll toy collector, I just had one. I thought they were cute. Did my troll toy get to play with my Lego? No, because it wasn't articulatable. Let's see. There's a black 1x1 to 1x1 downward bracket. Have there ever been Koi Kuotoa? No. And there shouldn't be. I am very hostile to just causing like any semi-anthro species to just be like a reflection of all the different breeds and species rather than their own thing. Buddy Shield of Hope, how's it going? Yeah, Kuotoa are an Underdark race of bipedal fishmen. They worship a goddess who takes the form of a naked human female with lobster claws and a lobster head. Blibdoolpulp. Pretty fishmen would be neat, though. Wow, are you saying that Kuotoa aren't pretty? Wow. Quicker to write than Lokatha? I mean, it helps to get it right. Lokatha. They're bipedal. So, not really, but kinda, I guess? Do they think they're pretty? I would probably think that they would. if they can love, then they should be able to. It's low caw thaw, and it's another type of humanoid fish. Fishman. Kuo-toa are an Underdark race, so while they do need water, they don't need to stay submerged. Whereas Lokotha are entirely aquatic. So Kuo-toa are more amphibious, whereas Lokotha are aquatic. There we go. Lokotha and Tritons both worship the god Persona. There we go. Now we get the front side. So Lokotha and Kuo-toa do look very different. Lokotha are pretty lithe. They're not very like bulbous or rounded, whereas Kuo-toa are pretty rounded. That said, Kuo-toa have monks. And madness. There we go. Get that in there. There we go. Got that in. No, as the description says, it's Real Madrid. Welcome to the stream, Simon K. Hope you're having a good day. "5e gave you some bulbous Lokotha? Yeah. Weird. Actually, nope. I want it that way. As opposed to a fake Madrid, yes. Yes. I mean, you wouldn't want a fake Madrid, right? Yes, I mean, it's a stadium. It's a Real Madrid stadium for the team Real Madrid. Had it laying around, and World Cup season's coming up, so I figured I'd make the stadium. Get it out of my to-do pile. Oops. Yeah, he gets down to single digits pretty quick, doesn't he? All right, another pair of these. I think this is the short... No, actually this should be the long side one. Alright. And Lunatastic bringing us a raid. Let me get you a shout out there. How are you doing today? What were you up to? Thank you very much for the raid. I really do appreciate it. We are continuing our build of the Real Madrid Stadium. Many friends died today in the Nuzlocke. Oh no! Did they at least sacrifice themselves nobly for the cause? No. Well. Thought that was a starship or something? No, not quite. It's a quarter of the stadium. We're actually done with about half of it so far. It is funny what Lego can look like when it's not finished. Earlier, we had someone who thought a portion looked like a toilet. And they weren't wrong. Saw a streamer try Nuzlocke, but she stopped because she got so emotionally distressed. I can understand that. Did I check out Project Thea? No, I did not end up doing that. Alright, there we go. So, over here. Old fears being made to make pickles again. There is that. There is that. I can't let the pickles become currency again. It would be an awful stain on my honor. Post-apocalyptic Manatech? Yeah, but again, like, you know, might have to run with pickle currency. We can't have that. Hey, I am very honorable, Kenshir. Like, super duper honorable. As evidenced by the fact that I'm not doing pickle currency. Yes, Bahamut, I really, really am. Very honorable. I don't like how wiggly that is. Okay, and that one goes up here. There we go. Now to make this one. I helped elect a possible corrupt mayor in Secret of the Stars game. That's true. That's true, but I needed to do that in order to save Cody. Like, imagine if I hadn't done that, and Cody would still be in that that circus. Oh wait, it didn't actually help. Welp. I mean, I also shrank a giant down to child size and then murdered him, so... I think that makes up for it. Because he was very evil. Totally evil, trust me. I wouldn't lie about this. Giant deserved it. I also killed the brother and sister brother who were of the Homunculus family. Which was very necessary. Like, they were of the Homunculus family. Didn't the beginning of Tecmo Secret of the Stars spoil everything by that old guy saying this was his favorite adventure he had? No, Uncle Save is just along for the ride. Protagonist is always justified, it's true. It's true. I mean, if we weren't justified, we wouldn't be the protagonist, right? Here's the bracket. I mean, I am the avatar of virtues. No one is more virtuous than I. But the defeating of Golan Jr. is very frowned upon? Look, I had to shrink him. He was a giant. He was terrorizing the village. Ald is truly the most humble. It's true. It's true. It is one of my my greatest traits. My humility. My unparalleled humility. Truly, there is no greater humility than mine. There we go. And that goes in here. Okay. Get some friction pins in here. I mean, shepherds aren't actually humble, Gilded Tongue. Compared to me, the Avatar, I want to get these flat that way because it's usually a little bit easier to get them in. Yeah, it's true, not a rogue AI. I really would. Just win instantly. Okay, move that over there. Bring these two sections together, and boom, just like that. Okay, first of all, lock it in with a 1x2 tile up there, a 1x4 tile right here, a 1x8 plate, and a 1x6 tile with a sticker. All this winter, time to lock in? Exactly. Hoped we'd get a lot more done before 10. Well, there is still a bit more that we... I mean, like, it is only 9:30. I am fading, but I think we can go a little bit more. Okay, get the 1x2 ingot tile right in there. There we go. So stickers would go on there, but no sticker here. Estadio Santiago Bernabeu. That is printed, and that goes right there. Now, right now we have a hole right there that we're going to fill in. Were jungle dwarves a thing Wizards of the Coast invented? Nope. That was a thing Ed Greenwood invented. They are in the jungles of Chult. I believe... they may have... Well, he may not have actually invented them. They may have... they're in Dwarves Deep, which is one of his products. But they might be in... they might have been in a Chult product first, and he just, like, wrote them up. Yes, well before 3E. Early 2E. Okay, that goes there. That one goes on there. That in there. Okay. Double stack of plates, and then this printed tile, which is a logo. Let me actually zoom in on that. Kind of shiny. So it says Real Madrid CF. That gets right up there. Alright, a crown was added to the club badge when the club became Real Madrid in 1920. Alright, so... sliding in right there. There we go. There we go. I noticed it kind of flexing, and I was like, I'm not sure if I want to do that. So there we go. I do like the side of this a lot better than the other ones. I like the look of the side better. Okay, and then we take the field, slide that in. Spare parts, we got a 1x1 peak slope in white, and a black 1x1 cylinder plate with hollow stud. Oh, there's another half. We're not done. This is just the half of the stadium here. So move it out of the way so we can make the other half. We'll get started on the next part. That is the end of the first booklet. Second booklet, so a bag at number 20. So the next half will be 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. The fourth quarter will be 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. And then the roof will be 38, 39, and 40. Alright, let's see. Probably just wasn't that popular. I imagine that's the main reason. Actually, yes, that is that. Not that I know. I don't know anything about soccer, really. Alright. On to our second bag of extras. I think it did. It was either 1920 or might have even been in the 1800s when it was first, the late 1800s when it was first built. Like a stadium was first built. Whenever you read a fact about Real Madrid, your brain adds in as opposed to fictional Madrid for a second. Alright, well this is different. So we've got some yellow 1x4 panels here. Not sure what that's going to be for. If this is Bernabeu, then Wikipedia says 1947. There you go. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the book had that the booklet had that information. I didn't read everything at the very beginning because I don't care that much about soccer. I like building Lego things, and I will build Lego things oftentimes regardless of what it is of. I do have the Twilight set. And it's not because I care about Twilight. We will be building that one of these days. Eventually. Do I care about sports at all? Only the Olympics. I love the Olympics. But other sports, no, not really. Like, I've tried to get into, like, Olympics, sports that are at the Olympics when they're not at the Olympics, and I just can't get into it. I think the big thing for me is the, like, the patriotic nature of it. I think that's kind of what that's one of the things that really does it for me. I like seeing people succeed for their countries. So not even just mostly curling. I mean, I do love curling, but I really, really enjoy a wide variety of Olympic sports. That said, I don't get into, like, Olympic hockey or Olympic soccer. But Olympic water polo? Yeah, I'm there for that. It helps when the U.S. has a good team for something like that. Why are the zombies so fit they have abs? Look, they've just been working out, you know. I mean, but here's the thing, Nadaroge AI. You could choose what country you are, you know, you are a citizen of generally. That's actually a great thing, I think. Like, if you go to a country and work to become a citizen of it, even if your primary goal is that you want to get onto an Olympic team and you're from a country that is so stacked at something that it's hard to get onto that team, I mean, you know, people can and should make choices about where they want to live and who they want to represent. How do they build muscle? Well, maybe it's not all rot, you know? Maybe they're just that good. Just like watching peak human ability, that's part of it, yeah. But at the same time, like, I don't care that much about peak human ability on, because, like, there are records that have been set on, you know, qualifyings and stuff like that, but I don't watch the qualifyings, even though that is, again, peak human ability. I don't know. It's one of those things. Here's Trans Dark Blue. I was talking about this earlier. They do not actually make a whole lot of Trans Dark Blue these days, I feel like. I mean, they're still choosing who they want to represent, even if it's for money. Both Frank Sinatra and the Rolling Stones have played concerts in the Bernabeu Stadium. All right, bag number 21. care about chess a bit. Chess is actually an Olympic sport. Would have been a weird concert if they did it at the same time. That could be interesting. But yeah, I mean, one of my favorite things at the Olympics, I think it was the women's cross-country racing. But I thought it was a ski race. I've had trouble figuring out exactly what it was. But what impressed me was what happened. And that's something that happens with races in general. There was someone who was not expected to medal pushed herself out to the lead position well in advance of other people. Normally when that happens, someone has exhausted themselves too early and they fall back, after a bit, fall back to the pack or something like that. Either that or the people in the chase pack work to catch up. And that didn't happen. The people who were in the chase pack didn't actually realize that they were in a chase pack. They thought that they were in the lead. They forgot this woman went out ahead and got this early lead position. And that woman, held it. And it was just kind of amazing to see this performance and hearing the commentators being slowly realize over the course of the race that these other racers didn't realize that she was still out there and in the lead. And you could see it when they crossed the finish line and thought that they got gold, the person who came in silver thought that they got gold, and then this realization that nope. So, a very amazing achievement. I don't think that was the case. I think there was a speed skate one that happened in the most recent Winter Olympics. The short track, I think it was. Where one of the woman who got into the lead lapped everyone, and then sat at the back of the pack to get the draft, and not use as much energy, and the other members of the race didn't realize that. No, it was not a biathlon. It was either a cross-country ski race, but now I'm thinking that it was probably the cycling road race. It was really impressive. I did piss my mother off one year. She has a lot of Norwegian blood, so she's always happy to see the Norwegians succeed. But one Winter Olympics, the Norwegians came in incredibly arrogant about their chances of winning, and Sweden kicked their butt. And it was impressive. In a very impressive way. In cross-country skiing. It's a very Ukraine sporting stadium. So I love seeing things like underdogs and, you know, like amazing performances by people who, based on their past performance, shouldn't have a chance of winning, but still manage to do it. I love seeing that. Oops. Goes there. Lego lover is a Northern European. Oh, I've mentioned that I have a lot of Norwegian blood. Other blood is German for the most part. So yeah. Now that said, the German side of my family has been in the United States from before there was a United States. So, you know, not that German anymore. What have I been playing lately? I just started LPs of Tecmo Secret of the Stars and Tales of Berseria. Enjoying both of those. Just a little adverse to the sunlight, yes. Yeah. But all ready to do some pillaging. You guys know where a monastery, or I guess, you know, French land is. All right, Gilded Tongue, have a good rest of your night. Thank you very much for coming on out. We will probably be wrapping up pretty soon. Not sure exactly how far I want to get on this. I think I want to stop before I do any more of the seeding, but I don't know if that's going to be sooner or later, so... I'm actually kind of dragging now, actually. I didn't sleep super well last night, so there is that. Might actually stop after this bag, now that I think about it. Yes, you should watch Berseria. Also watch Berseria for the dress-up. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? I will actually be recording some more tomorrow. Have I heard of Tales of Crestoria, the mobile game? I have not. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to mobile games. Not a big mobile game fan. Like, I don't enjoy playing on mobile very much. Oops. Had the edgiest story you've seen in a mobile game? Any reason why mobile isn't fun for you? I'm not in a whole lot of positions where I would want to be playing that. When I was a kid and we used to go on long car trips, then yeah, I mean, like, that might have been a good time for it. But I'm not, like, riding the bus much, and the times when I am, and I don't, like, I'd rather play on a big screen for one thing. I like kind of being immersed in it rather than focusing on this little tiny thing. unless the graphics are really simple. And if I had, like, the time, like, if I have time like that, I'd rather read a book. So if I'm in a position to play a mobile game, I would rather read a book, kind of thing, you know? Interesting that we're leaving that empty there. Protag finds out his dad runs a child trafficking ring under the pretense of an orphanage and murders him with a knife. And that's going to happen. I mean, I don't think, like, mobile gaming is bad, kind of thing. It's just not for me. Like, if I'm going to be, like, sitting down, looking at something in my hands, I want it to be a book. That goes on there, and that goes on there. I don't actually know if I have a red click hinge base like that. Let's see. Yeah, next bag has seating in it, and I don't really want to do seating tonight. So, I think this is where we'll wrap up for the evening with the stadium. Definitely something that's going to be going on here. You can tell because it is, like, this is very much clearly looking exterior. This is most definitely not. All right, I'll go ahead and put it there. Before we wrap things up for the night, we've got some minifigs to open. No more tediums? I mean, it's not tedious so much as just a little more small and I don't know. I don't know what the best word is. It's not tedious. It's just I'm feeling myself beginning to drag. I'm getting kind of tired. So I don't want to be doing that when I'm tired right now. Remember playing a Tales game on PSP, but you can't be sure at all which it was? Do you remember anything about it? All right, let's see what we get. 2. So that'll be right there. Let's actually go ahead and put this away. Uh, 10. Rolled under the dragon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. My chair is really squeaking tonight. I don't know if that gets picked up or not. Let's start a prediction. Can all guess what is inside the minifig pack? Let's see. All right, 9. So that is the Tennis Pro. 1 for Bahamut. That is the Olympic swimmer. 10 for Nadaroge AI. That is yet another Tarzan. You remember a linear path in a forest or cave and buying lots of gels and doing cooking. Okay, that doesn't actually help anyone, Nadaroge AI. Do you remember any of the characters? This night's guessing begins with a Minotaur Chronicler of Fey Folk Lives. All right, get your predictions in. Let me get my timer up. There we go. A Leonin influencer. I hate that word for what I do. I hate that word for what I do. It's really terrible. Unfortunately, there aren't that many good words for it. Didn't really engage with the story, just wandered about killing stuff and cooking mostly. Well, I don't know that there were many for the PSP, so maybe just look up the games that came out on the PSP. Alright, 30 seconds remaining. Get your predictions in. Can I guess what is inside the minifig pack? You gagged spelling that word. Tonight's discussion really helps with Minotaur ideas many times. That's good. It's always good. Alright, just a few seconds remaining. What is 7? Evil Knievel type guy? I don't know, what would you call that? A stunt performer? Alright, predictions are closed. And go. Alright. Something fairly big. Can I feel what this is? Is that? Alright. 17.26. I think we have the Black Knight, the Boar Knight. Let's find out. That is number 14. I mean, people of my generation do. It's not a Gundam pilot, no. Yes! Alright. I felt the helmet, which has this flare. Let me mark that off, and then choose the outcome. That was within 20 seconds. Complete that prediction. Okay, Bahamut getting all the hams. Very nice. Kinshir going for 20 to 50, a Shield of Hope going for 50 to 60, and Lel Bunny going for no. So, these days, they would not give you a plain black torso. They would have put some underprinting on. But he does have printing on his leg. And he does have a shield with a decoration on it that I haven't gotten before. Also a black shield. I don't know if I have a black shield. He is a boorish knight, yes. Where is my... There it is. Let's go ahead and zoom in on him. It's a very shiny shield. No back printing. But some interesting printing on his legs and the armor. And I don't know if I have a dark gray sword. So that's nice. Also, he has red eyes. No back print on the head. But always nice to get some more castle figures. Alright. So that one is done. Next up, Series 10. As I did mention, there is always a chance that there will be Mr. Gold. Two once again, so still over there. 17. I don't think there's any. I don't think we're up to 17. Reroll 3. 1, 2, and a 3. That's true. I never give you the chance to guess Mr. Gold because If I guess it correctly, then it's still a correct guess. If I guess it wrong, it's still an incorrect guess. Start a prediction. Plus, I'd have to make a new one, and that would be a pain in the butt. All right. Start the prediction. Get your predictions in. Let me go ahead and roll for my dice 11. That is the Sad Clown. All right, 1 for Nadarogai, that would be the Librarian. 8 for Bahamut, that would be the Old Man. So go ahead and get your predictions in. Second guess is a Minotaur Lego Packaging Machine Restocker. Let's crack my back a little bit there. All right, get your predictions in. A Leonin holding Mr. Gold. Wow, rude. Does he want ransom? I'm not paying ransom. If I get a Mr. Gold, I get a Mr. Gold. If I don't get a Mr. Gold, I don't get a Mr. Gold. It's fine. So, get your predictions in. Can I guess what is inside the minifig pack? Let's see. What we haven't gotten is the Skydiver, the Ship Captain, and the Influencer. That is actually kind of surprising. He wants ham, 5 million hams? Well, he could... I'll make a deal with him. He gives me Mr. Gold, and he can watch my channel and get hams. How's that? It's a great deal. It's a great, great deal. There's no way he'd get a better deal for hams anywhere else. All right, get your predictions in. Can I guess what is inside the minifig pack? The Librarian should also be an influencer. Well, I'm pretty sure this is too early to be an actual influencer. I think it's supposed to be like just a Jersey Shore type lady. Okay, predictions are closed. Let me go ahead and get my timer ready, and go. Yeah, no, that's a head. That's not going to help me any. Is that? Yes, all right. Ooh, 20.5. Just over the limit. I believe we have another Mohawk warrior. He will throw Mr. Gold into the volcano for that? Well, that's his loss then. It's kind of stupid. Yeah, I felt the tomahawk again. Easiest thing to feel in this. Other thing would be the hair, but the tomahawk is easier. All right, choose the outcome. That is 20 to 50 seconds. Complete that prediction. All right, Kinshir getting all the hams. Very nice. Bahamut going for within 20 seconds. Shield of Hope going for 50 to 60. And Lel Bunny going for no. So the axe head is soft. See a wiggle there. Then again, so is this. So don't want to move them too much. There we go. No back printing, but we do have arm printing. There we go. So let's go ahead and mark him down. It's funny, we've gotten 3 of him. I guess we haven't gotten 3 of any. No, we've gotten like 5 of this guy. Or 4. Kind of amazing. My dice are not very random, I think. It's a unique axe for that set. I mean, for this fig. That axe has not been in any other set. All right, let's go ahead and grab our next minifig. Okay, 4. So we're going over here. 8. That will be that one, and I slip in a replacement. There we go. So let's start a prediction. Can all guess what is inside the minifig box? Get your predictions in. All right, so we have not gotten the fish, the frog, the Dalmatian, the dolphin, or the parrot. Those are the ones that we have not gotten yet. So let's get that out. Let's get my die out. So 6 for Bahamut. That would be the... you need to re-roll because there are no more koalas. We've gotten all the koalas. 4 for Nadaroge Eye. That is the monkey. 8 for Bahamut. That would be the crocodile. The Archosaur cosplayer. So get your predictions in. Let me go ahead and get my scanner up. There we go. Tonight's final guess is a Minotaur crowd controller. Wow, that's terrible. And a Leonin pilot. No license for the Minky? I'm not following Lord Canis. What if Land Crocs never died off? Alright, get your predictions in. Can I guess what is inside the minifig pack? It has been a really long time since I've watched any Pink Panther movies. Very long time. Ah, okay, no, yeah. Now I'm hearing it in the accent. Yeah, okay. I didn't know what that one is now. All right, so first we shake it. All right, sounds like there's a lot of pieces. All right, I'm going to say it's the frog. That is going to be my guess. The die says 3, the fish. Oh, yeah, and I need to get to the... There we go. Let's get the weights. If you like kind of absurd comedies, Lel Bunny, like surrealist absurd comedies, I would recommend it. Pink Panther movies were one of my father's favorites. He loved them. All right, so let's go ahead and weigh it. 18.47. So that could be the peacock. It's definitely not going to be the frog. It could be the crocodile. Yeah, peacock or crocodile looks like that's about it. I am going to say that the weight is peacock then. All right. Let's see. Hey, it's a goldfish costume. That is 18. Okay, well that is these are way off from my weights. All right, so that is going to be the die. Oh, I would go for the Peter Sellers Pink Panther. Peter Sellers is just such a good comic actor. All right, so let's choose the outcome. That is indeed the fish. Yes, with die roll. Complete that prediction. Who is getting the hams? Shield of Hope and Lord Kane is getting all the hams. Very nice. Even split. Bahamut going for yes with guess. Kinshir going for yes with wait. And Lel Bunny going for no. Okay, let's go ahead and mark off the goldfish. It is a little kid. That's how you know it's a front. Let's make her happy. And she has her little jar of fish food. Alright, let's go ahead and zoom on in. Look at how happy our fish is. That is a great fish costume. I kind of want to like just get some pieces there and have that be like a shop thing or something. And the little fish food is adorable. Look at how cute that is. Yeah, the hat alone would make a good fish. And these arm pieces are also on the dolphin. I think they're on like some other costumes. No other costumes that we have here. We got the bird arms for the parrot and the peacock. But I think there was a penguin costume that had these. And we do have back and front printing. And leg printing as well. All right. It's a very cute one. It's a very, very cute one. I think this one is one of the more adorable ones in the set. And a spare part is, I think it's a medium azure 1x1 cylinder tile. And I marked off the fish. So that is it for minifigs. So, we've gotten all of the first row. We have not gotten the frog, the Dalmatian, the dolphin, or the parrot. So there's 4 remaining ones. Dorothy? I don't know what you're talking about, Dorothy, not a rogue AI. Okay. But it is about time for us to... Oh, Golden Girls. I've never really watched the Golden Girls. Not my thing. All right. It is about time for us to wrap things up for tonight. I want to thank you guys for coming on out. We will be back on Friday to continue the stadium. Probably not going to finish it up Friday. We'll probably finish it up next Wednesday. Then we'll be back on Saturday for some more Spelljammer. Monday we will be back for some more Dragon Quest VII. So I want to thank you guys for coming on out, and I shall see you next time. See you then, everyone.